You wake up, it's the middle of the night, and you think, I need a pee. Potter off to your loo, get back in bed, you glance at the clock, 3 a.m. And instead of just quietly and beautifully drifting off back to sleep, your mind suddenly goes, ding, and it won't switch off. Your chest then starts to feel tight, and sleep is way out of reach. And you tell yourself, okay, what am I thinking about? Right, well, I'll deal with all that tomorrow. But for many people, this isn't just an occasional bad night. It becomes a pattern that quietly starts affecting how you think, how you feel, how you function during the day. And it starts to happen long before you fully recognise that that's what's going on. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Cheryl. I'm the creator of the Heart to Heal method, a framework for emotional regulation, anxiety recovery, and nervous system support. I work with people experiencing anxiety, burnout, and persistent nighttime overthinking, often high-performing professionals who appear capable on the outside but feel internally overloaded. One of the most common patterns that I see is this. I could cope during the day, I'm fine, I've no problems, but at night time, everything seems to want to catch up with me. So, if that sounds familiar, in this video, I'm going to explain what's going on with the nighttime anxiety and, what's actually going on with your nervous system and why it doesn't resolve on its own and what you can do to begin to shift it. When nighttime anxiety becomes a repeated pattern, your nervous system doesn't fully return to rest. Instead, it stays in a low-level state of activation, even during sleep. So, it's always ready, a bit like being in fight or flight all the time. Now, over time, this can affect, your sleep depth and how well you sleep and how you actually recover from that. It can also affect your emotional regulation. It can, affect your stress hormones. It knocks them all out of balance. It can affect your cognitive clarity and your focus. And because the system isn't fully recovering, it becomes more, reactive to everyday stresses. This isn't a sign of weakness or failure, and please don't think that this is, because it's not. It's what happens when the nervous system hasn't had a constant opportunity to, download regularly. Ongoing nighttime anxiety often shows up as difficulty falling asleep or difficulty staying asleep. You'll find things are repetitive, so you'll have repetitive thought loops about past or future events. You'll also wake up during the night feeling really alert and really switched on. You'll feel physical tension, so a tight chest, your jaw might be tight, your head might be hurting, you might have a bit of bellyache and feel a bit restless. You'll be emotionally fatigued or irritable during the day. Many people adapt by normalising this and just, this is me, this is what I am. So they'll push through it. They'll compensate for it. They'll keep functioning and keep going. But internally, the load is still accumulating and it's building and building and building, a bit like having a backpack that you're putting stones in. And it'll keep doing that even if it's not visible externally. Men are really good at doing this, very good at it. Women sometimes put it down and throw the rocks out, but then go and pick them back up later on. So when this pattern continues, it begins to shape more than you sleep. It really can affect your emotional resilience. It can affect your stress tolerances. It can affect your decision-making clarity. It can affect your energy and your motivation. It can affect the sense of connection and the presence that you feel in your daily life. And over time, some people notice that they feel quite like, I don't really feel like myself anymore, but they don't know why. They don't feel like overwhelmed in a crisis sense, but they feel just a bit depleted. And this is why early recognition matters, and it's really important that you see this. Not because anxiety itself is dangerous, because it's really not, but because the system under sustained activation starts to lose flexibility, it loses clarity, and it loses the ability to recover. It doesn't have that recovery capacity. So how do we break this cycle? Well, the solution isn't to sort of ignore the thoughts or force yourself to go to sleep. It's to work with what is keeping the nervous system activated in the first place. In my work through the Heart to Heal method, this often involves helping people to understand their anxiety and the sleep activation patterns, because there will be a pattern to it. That's why I often say, write down what it is you're thinking about. And, regulating the nervous system more effectively, processing underlying emotions, or emotional pressures and stresses, reducing nighttime mental looping and hypervigilance, rebuilding internal safety and recovery capacities. And, when you start looking at these things and you start to make small shifts, people often notice that they get a deeper, more a sleep that they feel better from. They have fewer nighttime wake-ups, so they're not waking up really anxious. They reduce their mental activity at nighttime. They have a greater emotional steadiness during the day, and they have a stronger sense of internal calm and control. And that's not because life has changed. Life could be exactly the same, but it's because the system is operating in a constant activation. So it isn't constantly firing all the time. It's a bit like you keep turning your car engine on. Eventually that car engine's going to be like, nope, I've had enough. I'm not doing it anymore. So if this resonates with you and you find that this is how you are, then just take a moment to answer this question. How much of your current capacity during the day is being influenced by how well you recover at night? Because often what looks like just sleep disruption is actually a wider nervous system pattern that's being asked for attention from and it's been asking you to look at me, I want you to think about me and sort me out. If this video has helped, then please subscribe and follow for more content on emotional resilience, anxiety recovery, burnout and sustainable high performance. You can also find my weekly newsletter, Permission to Pause, and my monthly newsletter, Inner Compass, for deeper insights. And if you'd like to explore working with me, details are available in the description below. Take care, and I shall see you all again in the next video. Bye for now.